Hello, I'm going to talk about a movie that I personally really enjoyed. It's called Death to the Tinman. To briefly recap what it's about, Bill is a very interesting dude who is madly in love with Jane, and then has a curse placed on him, turning him into the Tin Man, and madness ensues, including a strange meat puppet love triangle, evil firefighters, and of course, the Rapture. But what I love most about this movie is its distinct style. Sure, the acting and the dialogue is kind of strange, but there's something so unique about this film that it's hard to put into words. But I'm going to anyways. The first thing you may notice about the film is that it's purely in black and white. This is reminiscent of a style of filmmaking that was popular in the 1920s called German Expressionism. An easy-to-spot sign of German Expressionism is strange, dark, sometimes nightmarish imagery, as there was little regard for films being visually pleasing. It was more about evoking emotion than portraying beauty. This is very obviously used in Death to the Tin Man, as these dark sets and the design of the Tin Man is so strange and haunting, but always gives the audience a sense of emotion to really drive home what is happening in the scene and the feelings behind it. Montage is a filming technique that combines lots of short shots together to imply the passing of time with lots of information at once. Now, this movie is incredibly frantic, cutting from one scene to the next and always keeping the audience on their toes. That is to say, pretty much most of this movie is in montages, with solid scenes interspersed between them. This really contributes to the style that I really like about it, as there's never time to dwell on what's happened, and all the strange events that take place are much more easily digested. But I think the frantic nature of the film, in a way, is also supposed to be representative of the character Bill, as he is an energetic, fast-paced person, and the film only seems to slow down when he does, which is just another unique way that this film conveys emotion or a sense of urgency. One of the most noticeable themes in Death to the Tin Man is very stark color contrast. With every black and white film, it's easy to be lost in shades of gray, making the scene seem bland and not really eye-catching. What Death to the Tin Man does so well is setting nearly every shot so that white objects really pop against black backgrounds, or vice versa. In every shot, it's either the clothes that the characters wear, the lighting, or the background that makes everything in the shot really bold and gets us to focus instantly on the subject of the shot, which is important for such a montage-like film. Another thing that I noticed is that the creases and folds in the Tin Man costume that reflect light make it incredibly interesting in close-up shots contrast-wise. I don't know if this was intentional, but I think that it's really cool. Now that I'm really analyzing it, I'm starting to think that the strangest thing about this movie is its dialogue. Typically in film, dialogue is meant to create a realistic tone for the audience, representing everyday exchanges between people. But in this movie, the characters' lines are so abrupt.
I know you don't love him!
You don't know that.
You're gonna be the death of me.
Probably.
That they could be mistaken for bad acting.
Let him die.
Yeah.
But I know that this was meant to make the movie seem even more fast-paced than it already is, at least for some dialogue. The short interactions between characters is always with a distinct purpose, with no idle chit-chat. All exposition is given in the form of narration, so characters only express themselves in the most blunt way possible, which, again, on top of the montage style and the crazy contrast, adds this frantic, wild feeling this film gives off.